It's Harlem, 1958. The kids are on the stoop when their mom calls them inside. Inside, she's talking to her friend who starts hating on the oldest girl for busting at the seams. There are 3 sisters total. The oldest, Sister, the middle, Dolores, and the youngest, Sparkle. Dolores tells her mom she didn't have to iron their clothes. They're old enough to do it, and that she already does enough for those white folks that she works for. The mom brushes it off, but the friend acts offended, talking about all the things that the mom has done for them and how she feels like they shouldn't be talking to her like that. Ma'am, what? The girl was offering help. That friend is definitely bitter and acting very weird. We cut to Sparkle, age 15, on the roof hanging clothes. Sticks, a neighborhood boy, shows up flirting, asks if she's ever been kissed, doesn't wait for an answer, and kisses her anyway. She says stop, he does it again, and she pulls away and calls it a sin. Ridiculous. Downstairs, the oldest sister, is with some rando. He asks for a kiss, she says no, and he forces it anyway. The men in the movie are totally trash already. That night, Sparkle is doing her sister's hair, and sister tells her if she's gonna mess with a boy, to make sure he brings condoms and has money to buy her something nice. Also, don't get pregnant. Girl. Next day, Sticks is hustling at a store, trying to get 5 tickets to some talent show. That night, they all go and watch a bunch of acts perform. They get home and say they want to start a group. Cue the practice scene. Cut to the nightclub. Sticks and the girls show up. They perform as the Hearts. Sister's the only one that came dressed like she had sense, and she outshines everybody. The rest look like background dancers. Afterward, Sticks and Sparkles are being cute. She's still super naive. Sticks manages to get them a gig, just the girls. They rename the group Sister and the Sisters. They show up looking great this time. The performance goes well. They're all hyped. Sister catches the eye of a dude named Satin. He ditches his current woman in the most disrespectful way, literally pushes her into a wall and snatches her coat. Sister is smiling like that wasn't a big ass red flag. Meanwhile, Sticks goes to a hotel room with Sparkle. She's wowed just being in a hotel room because this is her first time being there. Again, raise your kids so they're not impressed by bare minimum bullshit. That night, the girls perform again. Mom and her friend are in the crowd. Sister shows up late with a black eye. Dolores tells her to ditch Satin, but she kicks her out of the dressing room instead. Then she does a line of powder. Sparkle is like, girl, what? Performance still goes off and they kill it. We see flashes of Sister moving in with Satin. Let's be real, he's not a boyfriend, he's a pimp. Afterward, Mom shows up and warns Sister. Satin's gonna drag her down. She says she lived in Harlem long enough to know a rat when she sees one. Next day, Mom's at work. Something's clearly off. Sister is with Satin. He tells her to crawl for a fur coat, then beats her ass. She chased quick money and now look where she is. Backstage, Sister has another black eye. Dolores walks in and says, the prettiest girl in Harlem used to work here. Guess she moved on. Ooh, her ass is shady. Then she sees the bruises and says, ooh, Sister, you gonna let that man kill you? Then enters Sparkle with a package. Dolores asks what it is and fights her sister, and we find out that it was some powder. Dolores slaps it out of her hand and breaks the vial. Dolores ends up sleeping with some random guy at the club, but it's a setup. She calls the police and tells them that a drug deal will be happening at a bridge at 2:30 a.m. That night, the police are surveillancing the area and they see a drug deal go down. They end up shooting at the man who did the drug deal. It turns out it wasn't Satin, who Dolores was trying to set up. It was actually Levi, one of their friends from earlier in the movie who was part of the original group, the Hearts. Sticks gets him a lawyer. Satin corners Sticks in the street, thinking that he snitched on him, and they end up fighting. Dolores, the third sister, comes home and says she's leaving. She gives a whole monologue about wanting more than Harlem can offer and being tired of working for the white man. Now Dolores is gone, Sister's missing, and the group is falling apart. It's just Sparkle and the last girl. Sticks is over it, says he's moving upstate to work construction and offers Sparkle a way out. She says no, wants to take care of her family. He leaves. She's sad, but he offered. She chose to be a martyr. Cut to Sister, singing in a juke joint. Sticks is working construction. Sparkle's reminiscing. Sad montage. We cut to Sparkle singing in a church. Turns out it's for Sister's funeral. Damn, that escalated quickly. What happened to her? The drugs must have got her. Sticks shows up and says his grandma has been sick. He wants Sparkle to sing. Said he got a job at a records company. She says she has nothing left to sing about. He says don't bury your talent with your sister. And she says that she was the only one that understood Sister. Jesus, that's just toxic as hell. Where's Dolores? Girl, she dipped and never looked back. Honestly, the movie should have been called Dolores. because everybody else was a mess. Cut to Sparkle walking in the street with her mom. Mom says don't give up on her dream just because sister died. No one seems that shook by sister dying, but I guess they warned her. Sticks and Sparkle get back in touch. He gets a businessman to give him $10,000 to record a song. Sparkle sings, she sounds decent, but there's no fire. I guess love ends up bringing her passion out. Weak. Her record comes out, charts at number 37. Sticks gives the investor back his money with interest, but the investor wants the rights to all her stuff, but Sticks says no. Sparkle finds out and gets worried about Sticks. Mom checks on Sticks and he says not to worry about anything. Sparkle is now opening for Ray Charles. Big moment. Sticks is outside the Carnegie Hall and shady guys pop up behind him. Cut to Sticks in a car with two white men that take him to an alley, pull a gun on him. He still refuses to sign over her rights, and they go back and report to the original businessman that he didn't fold. At the end, Sticks shows up to Carnegie Hall alive. Sparkle finishes singing, movie ends, and yeah, that really was not good. But here are my final thoughts.
Alright guys, my final thoughts will be a voiceover because I am under the weather. One of my patients must have gotten me sick when I went to work at the hospital. So I'm just gonna say that I really did not enjoy this movie. I really don't know why it was called Sparkle other than the fact that she ended up being the solo act at the end of the movie. If anything, this movie should have been called Dolores because she was really the only one with any damn sense. I don't know if everybody's actions in this movie, especially the sisters, were related to generational trauma or curses. I don't know what kind of life that the mother lived before this movie started. There's not really a lot of backstory on her situation or how she ended up with 3 kids on her own. She seemed to be responsible, but you know, I guess environmental influences might have influenced them to act the way that they did, especially Sister. Honestly, Sister reminds me of a lot of women now that are looking for a come up through men, looking for a rich man and then end up biting off more than they can chew. Not only that, men ended up leading her down, taking drugs and just looking rough and dying at the end of the movie. And like I said, nobody really seemed concerned that Sister died. Sparkle, I don't know if it was the acting of the actress or what, but she just lacked character to me. She wasn't realistic, like she had no spark at all. I really can't see anybody with that little charisma making it as a singer nowadays. And then I think about the end of the movie when Sticks got kidnapped by those guys and they were threatening him with the gun and whatever. I think realistically they would have shot his ass, let's be honest. And they just wanted to have a happy ending at the end of this movie. But if they were being realistic, he would have got shot, Sister would have died, Dolores still would have got out of there, but I don't think Sparkle would have made it. I think the movie would have been a lot more interesting if they would have focused on Dolores and her point of view of everything. Like, me and my sisters start a band and looking at the downfall of everybody else and her getting out of there and just seeing where she ended up. But like overall, like I see what they were trying to do with this movie. It just didn't translate well. I mean, you can watch it. It's free on YouTube, I believe. It might be on other apps too. And I've seen a lot of people absolutely love this movie. And I will give it that it has a lot of bops that I wasn't aware of, that it came from this movie. But it just left a lot for me to desire while watching this. I wonder if the newer edition of Sparkle, the one with Whitney Houston, is any better. I have never seen it before, so I'm probably gonna do that one in the future just to like compare and contrast. But as far as this movie is concerned, it's not one that I would ever watch again, let's just be honest. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time for another movie. Bye.